Good morning, students. As we are doing the revision of the chapter is matter around us pure. So in this class today we will be seeing the separating techniques to separate the mixtures. Okay. So I'm separating the heterogeneous mixtures here. The mixtures, okay, which cannot be separated by filtration method, by hand picking method. So those heterogeneous mixture has to be separated by some different techniques, okay, special techniques we have to use to separate the components of that particular mixture. So my first technique is evaporation. Okay, now what is the principle where I will use the evaporation techniques? So for evaporation, what happens when I use evaporation? So in case of evaporation, my solid, or I would say my solid or solute, when my solid or solute is non-volatile means it is not able to, it cannot vaporize easily. You can say that non-volatile means a component which cannot be vaporized easily. I call it non-volatile. So I apply the evaporation technique in those mixture where my solid is non-volatile and my solvent is volatile, means it can be easily converted into vapors. Volatile means can be easily converted into vapors. So I use vaporization technique where my solid is non-volatile and my solvent is volatile. Okay, so you can see here we have taken the example of ink. Okay, so we are separating the ink from its, we are separating, we have a mixture of ink. So what is a ink? Ink is a mixture of solid dye, and the solvent here is water. Okay, so we are separating this dye from the water. Okay, so how we do that? We have taken the dye in a watch glass. Okay, we have taken the liquid component of a dye in a watch glass, and in a beaker I have start boiling up the water. After some time what I will observe that the water which is volatile will start evaporating, and in the watch glass what I will have my solid dye. Okay, so the solid dye which will be separated and the water which is volatile will evaporate. So this is how the evaporation techniques work. All my liquid, all my water will be converted into the vapors and my dye will left behind in the watch glass. That is how I will be separating the ink in the evaporation technique. Okay, so yes, this was the one technique. Now let's talk about the second technique, which is the centrifugation. So what is a centrifugation? What happens in a centrifugation? That I rotate my mixture in a centrifuge machine or in an agitator. Okay, I have this machine in which my liquid or my mixture I rotate in a very high speed, and what happens, the denser particles of the liquid get separated at the bottom, and the particles which are less in density, which are lighter, will settle down at the bottom. Okay, so let me explain you. For example, I have a mixture of milk where I will use the centrifugation technique. I have a milk, and this milk is a mixture of water also. Okay, this milk is we know that milk is a colloidal solution. It is a heterogeneous colloidal solution. Okay, so I want to separate cream from the milk. Okay, now it is difficult to separate the cream through the milk by using a filtration technique. You cannot separate the cream from the milk by a separation technique, right? So we use a special technique to separate the cream or butter from the milk with the help of centrifugation. Okay, so what I do, I will take my mixture, okay, and place it in a centrifuge machine. Okay, this is my mixture. So when this mixture will be rotating, when spinning so fast, so rotating so fast, what will happen? All the denser particles, all my butter will be collected at the top, and the particles which are lighter, my milk, or which is the remaining part, will be collected at the bottom. So that is how butter, or you can say that cream, is separated from the milk by the help of centrifugation technique. Centrifugation, where we use the centrifugation where my solid particles are so small that they cannot be separated through filtration. Okay, I will use the centrifugation when my solid particles are small, that they cannot be separated through filtration. There I will use the technique of centrifugation. Okay, for example, milk, we cannot separate the milk through filtration. If I want to separate the cream from the milk, I cannot use the filtration, I can use the technique of centrifugation. Now some applications also given, so make sure that you revise the applications also. So we use centrifugation in laboratories to test the blood and urine, in dairies to separate butter from cream, in washing machines to squeeze out water from the wet clothes. Okay, so in your washing machine in your house, when you put the clothes in a dryer, so it uses the principle of centrifugation only. Okay, so the lighter particles will stay at the top when spun rapidly, and the heavier particles will move at the bottom. Okay, so like this is a principle given here. The principle here is the denser particles will be forced at the bottom and the lighter particles will settle at the top. Okay, this is the principle of the centrifugation. Now let's talk about how we separate the two immiscible liquids. So in case of a two immiscible liquids, we have taken a funnel. We have taken the separating funnel, and the two immiscible liquid here is water and kerosene oil. So how we separate that? We take our mixture in a separating funnel. This is a separating funnel, and we keep the mixture undisturbed for a while in a separating funnel. So after some time, what we will see? The kerosene oil will be separated and the water will be separated. Okay, they will form layers and they will separate it. Now when they are separated, when they will form two layers like this, what I will do? I will open this stopcock and will place a beaker here. Okay, I will open this stopcock, will start pouring the water out of it. Will pour the water continuously unless all my water is poured in the beaker, and quickly will close the stopcock. Now in my beaker I have my water, and in the funnel I have my oil. Okay, so that is how you can separate it. The first thing you have to do is keep the mixture undisturbed for a while. Once the mixture is undisturbed, the layers are formed, then you open the stopcock, collect the first component, and then you can collect the second component. So that is how you can separate the immiscible liquids through a separating funnel. Now let's talk about the process of sublimation. Okay, so in case of a sublimation, what happens? We take a mixture. For example, here the mixture of camphor and salt is taken. So camphor is a compound, camphor is a compound which is sublimable. Sublimable means it is easily, when we heat this compound, it converts into, this is solid in nature, directly will convert into gas. That is why we are calling camphor as sublimable. Now this camphor has some impurities of salt. Now I want to separate the camphor from the impurity salt. So what I will do, I will take the mixture in a china dish, will do a setup like this, place the burner, will heat the mixture, and what will happen, the camphor being a sublimable will directly convert it into the gas. And when it start forming the vapors, it will move up in the funnel. Okay, and it will start condensing. Once it start condensing, it will start collecting at the walls of the funnel, and that is how the camphor is being separated from its impurities, that is salt. Start separating on the funnel, start forming a layer. So that is how you will separate the camphor from the impurity of the salt. Okay, this process is known as sublimation. So in sublimation, the basic principle is to separate the mixture. One of my compound is sublimable, which is the camphor, and that particular compound is volatile also. So it will be directly converted from solid to the gas. Okay, when it is converting into the gas, forming the vapors, okay, when it is converting into the gas, forming the vapors, it will condense and will start collecting at the walls. You can see that vapors of camphor, it is being condensing and collecting at the walls of the funnel. Now let's talk about the other separating technique, which is the chromatography. Now what is this chromatography? So chromatography is the process of separation of components of a mixture. Okay, so for example, I have my dye. So in the evaporation, what we did, I had the ink, I evaporated the water from it. Now I have a dye remaining. Now I want to check what substance, what mixture my dye is made up of, through what all colors my dye is made up of. I will check this out with the help of chromatographic technique. So what I will do, this is my filter paper, or you can say that, yes, this is my filter paper. So in the strip of a filter paper, what I will do, I will put a drop of a mixture, I will put a drop of a dye which I want to separate, and will place it in the glass jar. In this glass jar, I have taken the solvent, and the solvent is water here. Okay, now after some time, what I will observe, that the water will start moving to the filter paper, and what we will see the different patches of colors on the filter paper. These different patches of color means my dye is being separated into the different colors, and these colors will indicate that my dye, if I get these patches, means my dye contains all these colors. So that is how we use chromatography technique to separate the mixture. Okay, it is very important that you see the principle of the chromatography. Okay, what the principle says? The principle is, chromatography is the technique used for the separation of those solutes that dissolve in the same solvent. We will separate only those solutes which dissolves in the same solvent. So here I have taken the water and my dye, the components of my dye, different colors, all were soluble in water. So that is why I have taken water as my solvent, and I received different color patches, means my dye contains all those different colors in it. Okay, now what is the application here? So we use chromatographic techniques to separate colors in a dye, pigments from natural colors and drugs from blood. These are the principles of chromatography. Now let's talk about the next technique, which is the distillation. So where I will use this distillation technique? When I have two miscible liquids, the liquids which are mixing with each other very well. Okay, now the two liquids are mixing with each other very well and their boiling point is greater than 25 degrees Celsius. I will use the distillation process to separate those liquids which have a boiling point greater than 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, so I will separate those mixture with the help of distillation process. So in distillation, I have this distillation flask. In this flask, I have taken the mixture of acetone and water. Okay, so this is a condenser and this is a beaker here. So I have my mixture in the distillation flask. So I'll start heating it. Okay, now the boiling point of water here is 100 degrees Celsius and the boiling point for acetone is 56 degrees Celsius. So you can see that there is a difference, quite good difference between the boiling point of two mixtures. Now what will happen, as the temperature will reach 56 degrees Celsius, all of my acetone will start evaporating. Okay, will start forming the vapors and will start evaporating and will travel into this condenser. In the condenser, all the vapors will be condensed and will converted into the liquid form and we can collect it in the beaker. So very simple process. Okay, this is how you can separate the mixture of acetone and water. Acetone boiling point is less, so acetone will evaporate, will form the vapors early and the vapors then will be condensed and then separated in a beaker. So the remaining liquid in my flask will be water. So that is how I can separate the two miscible liquids. Now just like distillation, we have another technique called fractional distillation. So what is a fractional distillation? So in distillation, I said we can use the distillation technique to separate the miscible liquids which have greater than 25 degrees Celsius boiling point. But what about those liquids whose temperature their temperature difference is less than 25 degrees Celsius? So in those cases, we will use the technique fractional distillation. Now what is the difference between distillation and the fractional distillation? In fractional distillation, we have this separate column called fractionating column. This fractionating column have small beads, and what these beads do? These beads will increase the surface area for condensation. Okay, so here I have a mixture of alcohol and water. Okay, now the boiling point of alcohol is 80 degrees Celsius and the boiling point for water is 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, so I have to separate this mixture. Now I will start heating the mixture. As soon as the temperature will reach the 80 degrees Celsius, my alcohol will start forming the vapors. As soon as the alcohol will start forming the vapor, it will move to the fractionating columns. Okay, it will start rising and meet the fractionating column. So the beads here will condense my vapors and the vapors will start moving down. Again, due to heat, the vapors will start moving up. The beads will condense it. Again it will get the heat and will move up at the top of the column. Once they reach the top of the column, it will move to the condenser and get separated out. Now what happens? Why we use this fractionating column? Now as soon as the temperature of the mixture rises 80 degrees Celsius, the alcohol will start forming vapor. In the same way, water will also start evaporating. Water will show the phenomena of evaporation. What is evaporation? The surface molecules of the water will start evaporating. Now what will happen? As soon as the alcohol is getting forming vapors, so as water also. So in case of alcohol is continuously getting the temperature of 80 degrees Celsius, so it will keep on moving up and up and up in the fractionating column. But whereas in case of water will get the temperature 80 degrees Celsius, will move in the column and quickly will condense, will move little in the column, will condense, will quick move in the column, quickly condense. So what will happen? The alcohol will reach at the top, will get separated, but water will be able to reach only near to this portion of the column. Okay, so at 80 degrees Celsius I'm talking about. Right now the water temperature has not risen, it is 80 degrees Celsius. I'm talking about 80 degrees Celsius. At 80 degrees Celsius only, alcohol will come at the top of the fractionating column, will move to the condenser and separate out. Then meanwhile the water will be keep on forming vapors and getting condensed, moving back, keep on forming vapor, getting condensed, will not able to reach at the top of the fractionating column. The purpose is this. That is why we use fractionation, okay, fractional distillation to separate the liquids. So make sure that you remember the principle of all the separating techniques and their uses to fetch more marks in the exam. It is very important. Okay.